Hello again, I'm back for book 4. Actually, we're going to start with previously on. In book 1, the world puts Achilles on the bench over the girl Briseis. Then in book 2, Agamemnon's dream means the forces are displayed. Book 3, the armies try to end the war diplomatically with a truce and a duel. This time, in book 4, we're picking up exactly where we left off, with Menelaus standing in the middle of no man's land, and Pandarus breaks the truce by shooting him. Menelaus is then treated. Agamemnon rallies the army to battle, and for the first time, battle is joined, and the fallen start to pile up quickly and bloodily. The joining of battle in the Iliad gives me a chance to touch on my reasons for making this series. When I first got this copy of the Iliad, I was only 13 and I got it at a yard sale with my mom. When I got home and started to read it, I realized real fast that it was a hard read, and it was full of names and places I'd never heard of, and portrayed a way of life that I had no concept of. I might have given up, except I got to book 4. And this is where the Iliad first grabbed my young teenage boy attention. That's because the Iliad pulls no punches. It has no qualms about portraying graphic violence and sex, which I had not been expecting. Everything I'd read up to that point, like the Chronicles of Narnia and even Tolkien, kind of glazed over the violence. The Iliad does not. Over time, I put the work in to understand what I was reading, and the more I came to understand it, the more I liked it. Once you start to grasp the world you're reading about, the Iliad can become almost a time machine to a violent, distant, but very human world. So with that in mind, I'm making this series for a bunch of reasons, but the main one is I want the Iliad to be easier to imagine and follow for regular folks who don't study classics without footnotes or books about the book. And with that in mind, I thought I'd also give you a quick overview of what Bronze Age warfare is, because it takes center stage in the Iliad, and this is where that begins. Reading about the deployment and the battle, it comes across very quickly and very strongly that the world we're reading about here is not a world of states. It's a feudal world with warlords and their war bands. Let me give you a bit of a rundown on what a Bronze Age battle might look like. Get out of your head any idea of tight formation infantry fighting. That came more like a millennium later. Not only that, but there's no cavalry in the Bronze Age because people haven't really learned to horseback ride. The only non-infantry arm of the force is going to be the chariots. So it's chariots ridden by lords. We have the two armies line up, and they close and can tell that this is a sort of ritualized style of warfare, meant to reinforce the social order. I think in a lot of ways, the style of fighting here would be somewhat familiar to a samurai and his ashigaru, or a medieval knight and his peasant men-at-arms who come with him, or the Aztecs with their privileged and skilled warrior caste, along with the bulk of their followers who were just levied, people like you and me who got dragged along to war. So up front in their chariots we have the lords with their bronze banded armor, or scale mail depending. They're fully equipped with bronze weapons, and behind them we have the less than happy to be there peasant levies, who we have every reason to think had no armor and do not fight in formation. They might not have been trained, we don't know. This means we have reason to think that these forces would fight in loose order, and this would not be a continuous slog, but a sort of loose back and forth, hot points of the battle with lulls. That's why these guys can fight all day and not have their armies destroyed. This is almost, as much as possible, an organized set of duels between the lines, and the main goal is to capture corpses so you could in turn bestow that armor onto your followers and win glory. A battle like this is as much meant to be seen as fought, right? Morale takes center space. If a lord does well, his followers will be happy and follow him. If a lord is killed, they're likely to run off. So I really just want you to understand, and it's portrayed here, how much this is a two-tiered world, with the warrior lords doing the bulk of the fighting, as would be expected of them, and doing so with the best equipment. So without further ado, I present you Book 4 of the Iliad by Homer. Pandarus breaks the truce.